Welcome to Planet Marzipan Podcast,
your fish and Marillion podcast,
where we talk about all things in the planet of Marillion and Fish. I'm Mezza, and here's my mate,
Craig Houston.
Hello, and welcome to another Planet Marzipan Podcast. I'm Mezza, I'm here with my friend,
Craig Houston. It's Craig.
And we're here to have another one of our Shine the Single mini pods. We have guests again. We have Stephanie Bradley.
Hello.
Hello.
And Mike Barton.
Hey. Hi campers.
And we're here to talk about Garden Party, the third Marillion single. And there is an entry on Wikipedia for Garden Party. Garden Party, bracket, The Great Cucumber Massacre, close brackets, is a song by the British neo-prog band Marillion. It was the second single released from their debut album Script for Jester's Tear. It reached number 16 in the UK singles chart in 1983, the band's biggest singles chart success prior to 1985. The song is a parody of social elitism and snobbery. The B-side is a live version of Margaret, recorded at Edinburgh Playhouse on the 7th of April 1983, and the 12-inch version includes a live version of Charting the Single, recorded at Hammersmith Odeon on the 18th of April 1983. So, Stephanie's here again because this was her first ever Marillion purchase.
It was purchased from David's Cards and Record Shop in Wood Green Shopping City in North London. And I used to work in a baker's, Duns of Crouch End, lovely bakers, but they had an outpost in Wood Green Shopping City. And David's was just sort of over the other side. And I would literally get my wages and I'd go over. I finished work at 3:00. I'd go over and literally hand my wages pretty much over to them and say, you know, give me everything. So I'd finally given in to liking Marillion. And this was the first one that I bought from them. And as you say, it has a poster as well. So
yeah, so it comes with a rather nice four-part folded poster and another lovely Mark Wilkinson sleeve with the Jester, with a rather sharp knife and a cucumber and a cigarette. But again, different colours to the previous sleeve. Another really creepy sleeve, so nothing that your average teenager would be picking up by accident.
Yeah, is it 4 weeks after the 8-year-old that was traumatized in HIV? You know, the mother gets her calmed down. Let's go back. Come on, there's a Bucks Fizz singler. We'll go and get it. It was HIV. Oh my God.
But it's got some cracking live tracks on this one as well, hasn't it?
Yes.
The version of Margaret, I think it's about, is it 14 minutes?
On the B side of the 12-inch, it's 12 minutes 17, I think.
Yeah.
Well, there's an edited version on the 7-inch, isn't there? Which is down to 12 minutes or something.
4.5 minute version on the 7-inch, but
yeah,
it's the full version of how they were playing at the time. So it kind of starts with Rother's soloing, just generally soloing, and then the band kick in. I think Fisher's amended the lyrics to Margaret to talk about the drug squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take the high road and
You take the acid and I'll take the coke, and I'll be stonied before you.
As a man who's heard Still Marillion play it a number of times as well.
Me and John had a conversation about Margaret, didn't we? And thinking, is this where possibly some of the preconception of them being a Scottish heavy metal band came from?
Yeah.
If people had heard this thing.
yeah, I guess so.
Moira Anderson, eat your heart out.
Although I did see today online, Marco's Marillion Museum has put an advert from, is it Glasgow, back in 82 or 83, where they were advertising a heavy metal night with Palace and Marillion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I saw that.
Does it really, you know?
Yeah, but Palace never got the tag of a Scottish heavy metal band, did they?
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, the version of China the Single, we talked on the last mini pod about China the Single because we talked about the studio version. But this is a cracking version from Hammersmith.
Yeah.
It is.
In April 83.
one of the gigs, obviously, I missed because I was too busy being, obsessed and
Aloof.
not wanting to listen to them.
Too busy dreaming about Phil, Mike.
I was.
Were Genesis on tour in '83? They weren't, were they? Is that pre-Shapes? Shapes '84?
Yes.
Hadn't they done a reunion gig in '82?
Yeah,
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. They were on tour. They were on tour in '82 because
82. I saw them in 82, yeah.
But yeah. So Stephanie was still dreaming about Genesis and in complete denial until this single.
Till this single, yeah.
And this was the shape picture disc on this one, John, wasn't
Yeah, it
it?
was a 7-inch
Yeah,
shoot.
we're back to picture discs. So yeah, it's a
It's the
cutout
cutout one.
of the Jester. Now mine,
Copy knife.
yeah, has got a wonky knife.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. My picture disc has got a wonky knife.
Does it go slightly off to the left or something? Does it?
To the left, yeah. I don't think it's limited. It's just awkward for him to press. But
What
Yeah,
about the
the
picture?
picture was slightly stretched.
so I think it makes him look even more creepy with a wonky knife, personally.
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's not limited.
Well, it's a good thing the Brexiteers didn't get hold of that, because if it had a wonky cucumber, the EU would have been blamed.
One thing we haven't done is talk about the value of these, actually, have we?
Are they worth much these days?
No.
Well, I don't know. Because of how that looks, I actually bought another one of these last night online.
God's sake.
I'm that sad. haven't told my missus, but there you go. It'll be apparent when it turns up. So I've got another one coming. It cost me £10.
I think I made one into a clock.
Oh yeah. People did like lots of that.
Was he second hand off a bit though?
Yeah, the second hand was wonky.
I mean, it was nice that they'd gone back to picture discs.
Yeah.
And there is an uncut version of this, which is worth a lot of money. So you get it with a full 12-inch without this bit cut out.
Yeah.
So
Well, I thought I had, but it's not in my vinyl rack.
So was the uncut version for the
Imagine it.
European market and the cut version for the American market?
no,
I'll
I
leave
think the
that there.
uncuts were actually. I mean, they were made by EMI, but they weren't actually meant to be on sale. Almost demo discs.
That was the great thing about David's record shop. So the two guys that were in there, Jeremy and Nigel, who I may or may not have had a crush on. So I may have.
So it's all coming out now.
God, now.
So I used to go over with my wages and just like
And cakes.
all puppy-eyed. But they did, the great thing about it was they gave me loads and loads of promo stuff. And I haven't got any Marillion promo stuff, but they gave me loads of Genesis stuff. So at one point, when the Genesis album came out, I had a big cardboard cutout of all the shapes.
Oh right, brilliant.
And then Acting Very Strange, when that came out, I had a big cardboard cutout of Mike Rutherford's Head and Shoulders, which I had to take home the bus. It was almost as tall as me. But loads of white label promo versions of the albums, but never any Marillion ones, only Genesis ones.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's great. I mean, were they recommending stuff to you as well, music-wise?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were kind of into it a bit, but not as much as I was. So, but yeah, and they gave me loads of discounted stuff as well, which was great. So, I mean, it wasn't in my entire wages, so I could still go out to gigs and go off to the marquee and have a bit of money to spend. So,
Did you bribe them with cream cakes and things like that from the
I
bakery?
did, yeah. I mean, I reciprocated. Obviously, when they came up to get their lunch, they might have got a free donut. So
That's the way to do it. Barter system.
Buying any of the fanzines at that stage, Stephanie?
oh well, yeah, because what month did this one come out?
This came out
In June.
So
6th of June, 1980.
oh no, I wasn't buying any of the fanzines then, but the month after that was the first time I met Jerry Ewing, who was selling his fanzine called Jester at a 12 night gig.
Wow.
Yeah.
To tell you exactly when it was the 16th of July 1983.
Wow.
So that was the first fanzine that I bought.
Yeah.
Second issue of Court Jester, which I still have as well.
Makes you wonder whatever happened to him.
Yeah.
He stuck with it though, didn't he? He stuck with it.
Yeah.
I was buying Afterglow and things like that, getting copies.
Yeah, I bought them afterwards as well. It was Fascination and There's a few others as well.
And the only band of, I know we're sort of broadening the discussion here, but of the bands that you named in an earlier podcast, the only band that would gig up here would be Hayes, because they're from Sheffield.
Yeah.
So they would play the pubs in York to about 30 people, but we'd go down because they'd regularly do Genesis covers and buy all the cassette tapes, the sellotapes, and all of that sort of stuff. But that was the only bit of the London prog scene that sort of came up here. Yeah. So we
Did you know that, as an aside, they're still gigging, or they've started gigging again?
Yeah, yeah. It's the McMahon brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, fantastic.
But, they showed your prog credentials there.
Well, maybe there's an offshoot podcast in this. I don't know.
So this is the one where Fished on the Miming as well.
On Top of the Pops. No, that was Lavender.
Pops, yeah.
That was Lavender. No, this was the first time they played Top of the Pops to a completely bemused audience of girls who were going, "How the hell we could have danced to this?"
Yeah.
So the camera kind of focuses on Fish a lot more than the band and the audience, but it's up there on YouTube for you to have a gander at and have a bit of a snigger. They didn't fit on Top of the Pops, especially with the early singles.
And the video is really good as well. I mean, there's the humour in the video.
Well, yeah, and Andy Ward's in the video, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, with them all dressed as schoolboys, apart from Rothers, who is dressed as a priest.
Yeah, he refused to shave his beard off. So he couldn't be one of the schoolboys in it. And so they dressed him up as a priest and made sure he fell in the water.
And
they talked about that actually back in the day on the 1986 on the videos collection, when on the VHS release, when they brought the singles collection out there, they had the band in a studio and talking about the videos, introducing them before, and that's where I found out that Weathers refused to shave his beard off for that video.
Have you still got your VHS of that?
No, yeah. Haven't. Nothing to play it on.
Nothing to play it on.
Yeah. I've nothing to play it on either.
I do miss those introductions. The other thing to mention is the change in the lyrics, because it's a single.
Indeed.
That line became "I'm miming."
Yeah.
Yes.
So for the benefit of the single.
And for the benefit of us not having an explicit content label on this episode. Yeah.
Of course,
as a teenager as well, who's not going to love being able to scream out and,
Oh, there goes my explicit.
There you go. Expected.
Am I right in thinking that when H has done Garden Party, he never says it, does he? He lets the audience do it. I don't think he's ever sang that bit himself.
No, I think you're right. I think he just throws it out to the audience.
Yeah.
Mick Pointer's last appearance on the Marillion single.
But not the video, like we said.
No. But yeah, it was kind of the tail end of the script era of the history. We're starting to move into late '83, and then we're in the throes of the revolving drum stool that we will talk about when we do script.
Yeah,
we did talk about with Fugazi. But yeah, another good single, more typical of the band, I would say, than possibly He Knows You Know.
Yeah, no, I think this is the one that probably brought more people in.
Definitely.
It got more it certainly got more radio play, got on Top of the Pops, and it opened it up to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And also we found a rather funny review, didn't we, John?
Oh yeah, have you got that?
The single. Yeah, a review by Billy Connolly of the single of all people, which is a bit random. It says, excellent single, the production is superb. It has a really American drum sound that always seems to be absent on British records. If you can listen happily to a guy in a great voice with green lips and a monocle singing about his garden, this is the one. I love it. The drums are great. Random, but there you go.
Who's going to argue with Billy Connolly?
Yeah.
The big
Not me. And chart-wise, Craig, have you got the chart numbers?
This, number 16.
Okay.
So that's not to be sniffed at all.
Okay.
So it's not bad at all.
No, No, it's really not bad. Anything else you want to say about this release?
It has a bit of a special place in my heart because it was the first single that I bought, really.
Got up to date and then got on the bus.
I
Come
did.
on, and
I did. I went back and bought all the other singles,
Yeah.
and to make up for the being obstinate.
Your tardiness.
Yeah,
It's funny. In light of how it turned out, it's really funny, isn't it?
I know, it is so funny. It is so funny.
Well, yes, Genius or Bollocks Garden Party.
Oh, genius.
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 Absolutely. Even Margaret, when they were off.
Oh, I love Margaret.
You know,
I think it's great lines.
It's great. I think they actually tagged that on to the end of Reel to Reel when it came out on Japanese CD. So it's actually got Charting the Single Live and Margaret on the end of Reel to Reel. So it makes it a really long live album. But yeah, really good. So I think we've said everything we need to say about Garden Party. Another hit from us. So I'd like to thank Stephanie.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Our pleasure, Stephanie. Thanks for coming. Mike.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much. Faye.
For you, sir.
Why, thank you, sir.
He's going to come in a big blonde wig in a minute for the next one, with a big fur coat. And
It's a Tuesday night, though.
Yeah, that's only Wednesdays he does that.
So that's his weekend podcast, look.
The Fairgooston experience.
Yes.
Coming to the dark web soon.
On that bombshell, it's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
Take care.
Stay alive.
Thanks for listening to Planet Marzipan Podcast. Please like and subscribe from whichever platform you get your podcasts from. You can contact us at planetmarzipanpodcast@gmail.com and check out marillion.com, fishmusic.scot or fishmusic.eu for all the good stuff.